These are all my thoughts and opinions based on the information out in the public domain. Okay? Please do your own research, and this is just to have a discussion and talk about my opinions and so forth. Okay? Oops. It's quite a lot to talk about today, because I get so many emails, but the emails I've been getting are so interesting. We're going to talk about a couple of things in the news and so forth. Remember when Meghan Markle wrote to the Senate? Wrote to the Senate and called senators in their private phones. By the way, I'm not wearing makeup. It's just how white things are, so the white reflects on my face, depending on the lighting. Kind of weird looking, But anyways, so remember when Meghan Markle wrote that letter to the Senate, and then called two Republican senators to their private phones, asking them to support paid leave, parental paid leave. Okay. I think Meghan Markle is truly an imbecile or a complete crook. I think for somebody who went to university, she is an imbecile. She is a complete imbecile. Where do you think the money comes from to pay for all those government programs? Where do you think parental paid leave would come from? It comes from the tax, from money, especially if it's the government paying, unless of course it's the company. It's a private company who has a special program, but the company would still need to take money out of your salaries in order to pay for that benefit. The money has to come from somewhere. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because Meghan Markle, I read in the newspapers that she set up 11 companies, which is pretty shady. I don't care who, it's pretty shady. In Delaware. By the way, Joe Biden represented Delaware. I feel really bad for the people of Delaware to have such a crook. But Delaware is known for a safe haven, tax safe haven. Now, Meghan Markle lives in California, but California is because, make no mistake, and I have a lot of Democrat friends, so this has nothing to do with party, Republican or Democrat, but it's a fact. All Democrat states, at least most of them, have incredibly high taxes, which is why most of these woke, stupid people go go to Republican states to start to register their businesses there to avoid paying taxes. So Meghan Markle, instead of doing her duty of paying taxes, registering her companies in California, paying the high taxes required for these programs, she's trying to scam her way out of paying as little taxes as possible. So she doesn't really want to help these people, does she? Okay, please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I can tell you, they have this program here in Norway. When somebody gives birth, you can take up to 1 year parental paid leave, 80% of your salary. It could be the male or female, or they can divide it between the two of them. But the taxes people pay here are incredibly high. Incredibly high. So nobody in the United States, I don't think people in the United States are willing to pay for the amount of taxes. What you do is you plan ahead. If you want to have a child, then you plan ahead, you save, you do that, you become more organized, which to me makes sense, But anyways, so I find there's such a sense of hypocrisy that Meghan Markle is saying, somebody, you have to do paid parental leave. But who's going to pay for it, Meghan? You're trying to skim everybody and not pay any taxes. You're trying to, no matter how many companies she creates, the IRS is going to get them. The IRS is going to get them. Sorry, I have to sit here properly here. I sat a little bit away from the waterfall because it's too much noise. So the taxman is going to get them. You know what I mean? So now we have... I was watching, I don't know if you've seen The Rescue. The Rescue is a documentary, National Geographic, about the 12 boys of Thailand that were rescued. I gotta say, if you see my eyes red, it's because I'm still choking about it. It is such an amazing thing, you know. And then it's two British blokes that carry the whole thing and plan the whole thing. Two middle-aged British blokes, you know. And I think they received a medal from the Queen and another one from Prince William, because it's unbelievable. It is great how people, they rescued the 12 boys. It's great how the whole world came together to help. And there was such happiness. And, you know, watching that thing, it made, you know, I immediately started thinking Prince William would be one of those British blokes, you know. I don't see Prince Harry doing it because he's a coward. This is supposed to be the Queen's happiest year, her 70th year on the throne. This is a woman who has dedicated her life to serve people. I mean, yes, everybody makes mistakes. Her mistakes have been nepotism. That's really what it comes down to. That the Queen has been heavily on nepotism. I read a story that the Queen, I don't know if it's true or not, that Prince Andrew and Prince Harry are going to get the medals from the 70th year. Now, I want to make something very clear. There is nothing on any law or anything. These medals or these coins or whatever they're given are complete. They're paid for by the Queen, by the monarch, and she gives them to whoever she wants. There's no rule book that says they have to get it because they're royal. No, it's completely at the discretion of the monarch. So, if true, this is why the current monarchy is in this state it is, and it's clear that the Queen has not learned the lessons. You do not reward good behavior. You know, you do not give positive reinforcement to bad actions, because that only tells these people that they're on the right path and they should continue behaving that way. I don't know if I'm explaining myself very clearly here. I do understand that Harry and Andrew are her family, but these people are snakes. These people have betrayed the institution of the monarchy. Yes, Prince Andrew is declared innocent until proven. It's not even that. You know, he's in a civil lawsuit, period. You know, but the way he handled things were pretty terrible. Pretty terrible. He did not, excuse me, he did not listen to advice from anybody. And this is the problem, that they don't listen because they think they know better. Personally, I don't think there should be a page for the Duke of Cambridge or for the Prince of Wales. I think that they're all, because what people have forgotten is that they work for the monarch. Prince of Wales, Prince William, they work for the monarch. I don't understand why they have 3 separate websites. There should be just one website, one Twitter account, one Instagram account called the Royal Family, and put there all the activities of each member of the royal family in representation of the Queen, because they're there to everything they do is in order to represent the Queen, except the charitable things. But it seems that if the Queen does that, she hasn't gotten the memo. She doesn't really get that what she's doing is wrong, and the reason and what she's doing is why her whole family, herself, is in this horrible situation. You do not reward good behavior. Harry betrayed the Queen. Not only the Queen, the monarchy. Unfortunately, you know why Omid Scobie is going on about why we have the likes of a rat like Omid Scobie talking about things. Oh, look, well, how can they, you know, Prince Andrew did this and he remained this and this and that, and Prince Harry hasn't done that much. You know why Prince Charles can't criticize Prince Harry about that interview and about the book he's about to write? Because the only other royal, and I'm saying royal, not Princess Diana. Princess Diana was not a born royal. The only other royal who has done that, betrayed the Queen, betrayed the monarchy, was Prince Charles in 1994. He wrote the book backfired. People were calling for him to abdicate, to be stripped of his titles. It is such a shame that we live in a time where people, 1994 seems a long way. It is a long way, but it did happen. And then, not content angry that people didn't understand him, didn't understand what he wanted to say with that book. He went and did the interview. Right before, he couldn't wait after the Queen came back from Russia, which was a historic visit. He had to do it before because he needed to drill that point to the public. I've talked about this before. Now, I really wish, you can't act for other people, but I really wish that Her Majesty the Queen would realize that nepotism has led her to where she is. Yes, being a royal gives you certain privileges, but nepotism has no place anywhere in no institution. You can have nepotism in the monarchy to an extent, in the sense that they inherit certain titles and stuff like that. Now, I want to talk about the titles a little bit. There was this guy who came on national television and said that the titles, that yes, the Queen stripped Prince Andrew and Harry of HRH and the patronages, but it's a little bit more difficult when it comes to the Duke title, because it's considered a property, and property, people don't like to make others part property. First of all, let me correct something. I don't know why he said that, because he's another imbecile or what. Parliament has written back to many of us stating that all royal titles, and I stress the word royal because then people talk to me about, but the Duke of Westminster, no, they are not royal. What makes Harry, what makes Andrew royal is the fact that their mother is the Queen, is the monarch. Okay? So that idiot came on and said, yes, they're property. Yes, they are property. All royal titles are property of the monarchy, not of the individual. Do you understand that? All royal titles and privileges belong to the monarchy, not to an individual. So let me give you an example. I don't know if you remember, guys, but the wars before they used to get kings, they used to go to war and kick the king from the throne, and and then the king would give the ring here. Now you're the Duke of Norfolk, or Westminster, whatever, because those titles belong to the monarchy. And the monarch has every power to make a title extinct. She can suddenly decide to issue a letters patent and say, you know what, Harry, the Duke of Sussex title will die with you. You are not going to be able to pass it on to your kids. Once you die, the title goes back to the to the monarchy. That's how things work. And Parliament has written to many of us to explain that in writing how that works. All royal titles are at the absolute discretion of the monarch. Now, they say, the guy went, he will take an act of Parliament. No, and I'm going to swear, okay, disclaimer. No, it fucking doesn't take an act of Parliament. The Queen issued an amendment to the letters patent, 1917 letters patent, amending that, changing the succession from gender to primogeniture, and allowing Catholics to be recognized. Okay? She did that unilaterally. What she did need was Parliament to say, we agree with you. So, do you remember, and I've talked about this before, the Duke of Windsor, when they say, there's going to be a constitutional crisis, because Parliament said, because the Duke of Windsor, King Edward, at the time, wanted to write a letters patent saying that he was going to make, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Well, the guy, Wallis Simpson, that he issued a letters patent that she would never be queen, that she would only be like Duchess or whatever. And Parliament said, absolutely not. We're not going to back you up with that letter. We're not going to sign off on it. So it's not like they need an act of Parliament, but both parties need to be in consent. I can guarantee you that if the Queen issued a letters patent deciding, you know what, I want the Dukedom of Sussex and the Dukedom of York to come back to the monarchy, to put them in abeyance or whatever, I can guarantee you that Parliament is not going to stand in her way. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit because I also heard people saying, they don't know how to get rid of Harry being, what's it called? Advisor to the Queen or whatever. The first four. other than the Queen and the line of succession, are advisors or something that they can sign documents of and stuff like that. I don't know why people don't give the right information, because Harry right now is not an advisor to the state, I think it's called, because counselor of the state, because he's not in the country. There's a very specific article that says only the first four in the line of succession in the UK, residing in the UK, can be counselors of state. So Harry's not there. So I don't know if Harry is desperate to come over now because he feels that the end is near for the Queen, and he thinks he can do whatever he wants with Prince Charles. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Prince Charles. You all know I'm not fond of him at all. But please put your thinking hats a little bit. Do you remember how chummy Prince Charles was to Meghan and Harry? I mean, he allowed her wardrobe to go up to £1 million. That's almost $1.4 in wardrobe alone. And he gave him whatever he wanted. And I think that he felt, because he hates being unpopular. Believe it or not, he hates being unpopular. And there is a lot of jealousy from him towards William, because he hates and he feels threatened by his son, because he knows that everybody prefers William to be on the throne rather than him. So he would rather have Harry and Meghan back in the UK, causing as much trouble to William, so he can become the savior, in the middle. If you remember when Harry and Meghan were in England, he didn't interfere. He didn't issue statements. He didn't take sides. He was just looking how his two children, one especially attacked the other with lies and stuff like that. Because Prince Charles wants to be king. Trust me, this is a man. People say, why doesn't he do the honorable thing? I'll give you another example. You know that Boris Johnson, people are saying, oh, how can we get him off as MP? The Queen apparently has that power. It's one of the few powers. The Queen can dissolve Parliament and ask the Prime Minister to resign. The reason why nobody's talking about it is because they're hoping Boris Johnson will do the honorable thing and spare so much trouble to the government. The problem that you have is once those people taste power, they don't want to let go. Prince Charles is dying to be queen. He will do anything to be king, sorry. He's not going to allow any of his children to stand in his way. And if pitting both brothers against each other to destroy each other so he can be above them and and everybody not focus on the crap that he's doing, he will do it. But that's just my opinion. Now, please be aware that slowly but surely, Prince Charles has been met, because the Queen is not the one. Oh, I'm gonna name Camilla. I'm gonna give it the Knight of the Garter or something like that. I can guarantee you it doesn't come from the Queen. I'm pretty sure that's very heavy lobbying from Prince Charles, because he wants to make Camilla respectable. You can't. You really can't. That's my opinion. I really don't like Camilla. I think she's a woman who likes morals. And if she had done to Princess Diana what they did to her back then, they would be in jail, because that's emotional and psychological abuse of a pregnant woman. Because the abuse towards Princess Diana started when she was pregnant with Prince William. This is why she threw herself down the stairs. Because she didn't know what to do. She was too mature. She was 19. Prince Charles set his sights on her at 16. So, anyways, what do you guys think of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Do you think that they really want to come back to the UK? I don't think they want to come back to the UK. And I do believe that Prince Charles has invited them. Now, it's amazing how Prince Edward has remained quiet about everything, and the Duchess and the Countess of Essex. They're both an incredible asset. They're both, along with Princess Anne. And yet, for some reason, nobody is mentioning them. I don't know what is going on. But again, it's Prince Charles doing. We're seeing what Prince Charles is doing. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. I just hope the monarchy survives it, because I really do I believe that. And for those of you who keep sending me those emails that the Duke belongs to the Duke of Sussex and the Queen can't do anything about it. None, I repeat myself, and I'll leave you with this. None of the royal titles belong to the individual. They belong to the monarchy. Let me give you an example. If tomorrow the whole of the UK decided that they no longer want the Windsors and they put, let's say, the Westminsters in the throne, Prince Charles will cease to be Prince of Wales because that title belongs to the monarchy and to the son of the monarch. And if the son of the monarch decides, I'm going to make my brother the Duke of York, the title doesn't die. It just goes to a different person because the titles belong to the monarchy. They don't belong to an individual. So they go back to the house, to the monarch. That's how it is. And as Parliament has repeatedly said to us, all royal titles are at the complete and absolute discretion of the monarch. We simply follow, back her as long as it makes sense and it's not something completely stupid like what King Edward did, that he wanted to do something that they didn't like because they didn't like Wallace. So what do you guys think? Let me know what you think, please. And thank you for watching, guys. This is amazing. Please like, share, and subscribe.